Tulianza na pad, tukaenda kwa mouse, tukaenda kwa saa. Sasa tuko kwa hii. Onyeshe.
Wakembeshe.
Ukipoteza hiyo ama misplace hiyo unatumia hii sasa. Unapiga tu call hivyo. Kata tenje. Na kama utaki kuongea sana unakata tenje. Halo.
Alafu imagine your shughuli ni ya bikers garage.
Bikers garage.
Okay, let us just stop at the greens. Bro got more grass in his teeth than a cow at Delamere, but I digress. Anyway, these 150s have aftermarket keyless entries, bus horns, Matatu equivalent screens, both front and back for some, coordinated LEDs, Bluetooth systems, and many other modifications. I highly salute the level of engineering and money these guys put through in every single bike. However, if you want your bike to last longer than mother-in-law's shows, you need to keep it simple. Truth be told, nothing beats the efficiency of a good old key on the lock, stock speedometer with a working cable, one battery, and very simple wiring schematics. In these modifications, LED indicators are not really that functional, burn pretty quick, and are relatively expensive to buy and replace. Screens are usually set up for media playback, which, if you think about it, which you'd use your phone for, or, of course, during low exposure videos and photos. The rear screens, more specifically, have no purpose other than to impress the people you show you're behind to. And I believe these people genuinely do not care, kind of like Skiza tunes. However much money you spend on creating animations and advertisements, I'd still prefer to see through route of speech than have them. Don't forget that floods happen, maintenance must be routine, and things eventually get old, and you see them for what they really are. Ask machachari actors. Any slight wiring fail will have you backtracking your diagnostics all the way to the side stand, and that's not even electronic. All I'm saying is a wiring job would be hectic.
In wiring a box ama ya tuk-tuk. Hakuna box iko na waya mingi hivi. Cheki bro. Bingi. Inafaa uchukue kale kafa extinguisher uitengeneze kakiwa hapa kando. Inaweza waka anytime.
Again, mad respect for the amount of money put in these modifications. However, pimping a bike to this extent would chew close to 150k. That's a lot. I should know. I'm making content on YouTube. But this is still an entry-level 150cc with the most basic motorcycle features. By the time I'm posting this video, it cost close to 200k. With all that money put together, you could literally upgrade to something better, like a Honda CB400. You'll miss it once the hype ends. Slight modifications on motorcycle shocks are okay. We do them all the time. And so is setting your preload tension in relation to the weight you need to carry at a given moment, or just adjusting to the type of road you measure on. Our fellas at NDUTHI Culture do a very good job modifying and replacing shocks at a greater height. I gotta say, it looks cool and amazing, especially if you like being high. However, shock modification is not just about bringing it in and hoping for smooth bounces. That's how we got ourselves a Kenya Kwanza government. A lot of physics and calculations have to be considered. First of all, before you meet Haile Selassie this high, you need to realize that this bike is rear-wheel driven. Which means, for you to get your money's worth of horsepower, the rear wheel needs to be more grounded than government vehicles at auctions. You might be asking yourself, is it not grounded as it is? Well, here's the thing. With this modification, the center of gravity is moved way close to the front, and that includes the weight of the rider. Which also means, as a solo rider, the rear brakes would be less effective as they would be on a regular bike of this kind. Which also means you'd have to go harder than Vinde trying to copy actual speed on the front brakes for effective stopping. If my calculations are right, a little miscalculations will have your future kids on a collision course with the handlebars, as inertia gives you more Fs than you received in school. If you had a passenger, he or she would be an imaginary missile, building its own trajectory right above your head to the nearest car in front. And there's no amount of brotherly social distancing that can save that. I'm all for motorcycles having aftermarket LED lights, and bright ones for that matter. I know it's controversial, but hear me out. Every new vehicle today comes equipped with HID by Xenon, something, I don't know. But if it's named like a math equation, it's definitely going to burn your eyes out. Land Cruisers has them, the new Lexus has them, Matatus have them. Hell, every aftermarket headlight sold today are LEDs. So tell me why, in this godforsaken country, you'd still stick to your barely functional round H4 halogen lights and be bullied at night. Maybe you're happy having your eyes more deep fried than KFC chicken. I'm not. Most drivers don't even see motorcycles on the road unless headlights are on. So, go ahead and install them, and for Christ's sake, have them on all day and night for your own safety. However, There's a very thin line between trying to be safe on the road and trying to forge your own X-ray vision lights. The type and angle of the lights you install matter, and strobe lights are not it. They are nuisance, they have no specific value, very hard on the eyes, and 90% of the time makes me want to smack the hair off of a brother's head, turning him into a little convertible. Blue-red police lights have no value on the front other than visual noise. Side lights are only visible at night, but your bike has prime corona era curfew. For most bikes, a couple of LEDs left and right or a simple bar light is enough. Every motorcycle comes with a metal rod as the handlebars. You are always free to add accessories like phone holders, switches, bar and mirrors, and many other things. However, some people are comfortable with long rods, while some people find ways to modify theirs in ways that give them riding satisfaction. I'll have you know that long rods are easier to work with, easy to control on corners, and are definitely comfortable in longer rides. Those are all the things that short rods are not great with. The only advantage is short rods are easier to maneuver traffic in. There is no accidentally knocking sides in a busy traffic. But that is just it. Otherwise, it just makes your motorcycle look like a little cockroach. In this and only this sense, size does actually matter. Side mirrors are an important aspect of road vehicles, and they come in all shapes and sizes, and you, my friend, are somehow free to modify yours whichever way you prefer. However, most riders into the culture end up ditching them for smaller, less effective ones or completely forgo them, beating the whole purpose of the entire existence. Stock mirrors are cheap and easy to install and maintain. The new aftermarket ones are somehow smaller, kind of expensive, and at most times not calibrated for the work. They do look shiny as new and bring some kind of class to your bike. But unless you have compound eyes, your safety is pretty much out of the window, like Shah's 50 billion shillings you are reminded to forget about.
Forget about the propaganda in the headline of the news that we lost, some 50 billion can be lost. You know, people are mad. If we lose 50 billion, it means there will be nothing to pay, no hospital. This week alone, we are paying 16.2 billion shillings this week alone for PHC and for SHIF. This week alone.
Thanks for watching.